YouTube, what is up? It's your boy Duke, back here from sportsgamers.com, and in this Madden 23 video, I'm going to break down what I consider to be the best play in the entire game, bar none, and spoiler alert, it's not PA shot seams. So, what makes this play so dominant is it beats every single defense in the entire game with ease. We all know man-to-man has been very good all year long. This play kills man, it kills the blitz, it beats zone, the zone blitz, and even match coverage as well. I'm going to show you guys how to do this, how to beat every single defense with ease in today's video. So we're going to be looking at the gun bunch, but you could also find this and do this in the gun bunch offset. You actually don't even need a specific play. Any passing play is going to work because it's actually just going to be hot routes, and it's based upon the spacing we can create from a bunch formation. So in this video, I have the Saints playbook. I could really pick any passing play, but I'm going to just pick the play mesh spot here. Why not? Or I could even pick Y curl. Doesn't really matter. I'm just going to pick a play personally where the running back's already out on a route, because if you guys have been watching my videos, you know that picking plays where the running back is already going out on a route is going to give you better pass protection. That's a secret that I've kind of broken down this year. So I want to start off with beating the man-to-man man blitz meta spinner, right? Spinner is super common. It's been run by pretty much everybody all year. And you need to know how to beat this defense. So, this setup is going to be very, very, very simple. First of all, I will say, again, I like picking plays with the running back going out on route because if you need to block blitzes, these types of plays work better, right? If you just block the running back from a play where he's already blocking or he's on a delay route and then you block him, it doesn't do a good job. However, if you block the running back from a play where he's going out on route first, it does better. You can also use the check and release block scheme I've shown you guys, where basically with the check and release, you'll see the C over the defender's head. That's who the running back's always going to block. And it's a nice little scheme. Anyways, so what we're going to do on this play is very simple. We're first going to set up our protection with blocking or check and release. Then we're going to streak the outside receiver that's by himself. Next thing we're going to do is drag the tight end, and we're going to put the slot receiver on a post. Now, to put the slot receiver on a post, you need either hot route master or slot apprentice. I personally think the hot route master is the better choice. I think it's a must-have ability, especially if you play MUT. But like if you're in regs or CFM, just a slot apprentice will be fine. Now we're going to finally put the outside bunch receiver on a slant. Now personally, I like running this setup at a bunch. You can do it at a bunch offset, like I said, but make sure the bunch side of the formation is on the wide side of the field, because you want your slant, post, and drag going to the short side because they develop quicker that way. So you want the bunch on the wide side when running this. And in this case, we're on the left hash. That means the bunch needs to be on the right, because the left is the short side. Because we're closest to the left hash, that means the right side is the wide side, right? Very easy. So we're going to also motion the slant out about 2 to 3 yards to the sideline before snapping the ball. So in that case, we're going to motion him right here. That just creates better spacing. Now, I'm going to break down how this will beat every single defense in the game. We're starting with man, the blitz, then we'll get into the zone, match, etc. a little later in the video. So make sure you watch the entire thing so you don't miss out on any important info. And if you like this type of content, subscribe to the channel if you're new. If you're not new, smash that like button, comment on the video. All that stuff does help me out a lot as a content creator. So let's just go ahead and motion this guy out and just show you guys how this works. So the first read is always going to be this motion out. If they're in man-to-man, the blitz, etc., that will always pretty much get open. Now, obviously, if they press you, you can look at that streak over the top, especially if you're short at elite. But most players by now, if they're man blitzing, they won't press you because they know like you could give up the streak for a touchdown. So that's why normally what I'm going to do is look at the slant first, because I know when you motion him out, even against abilities and all that, he just gets a yard or two of separation extra. That's a 10 to 15 yard consistent pass. The thing is, like, they're going to probably use her in the middle of the field. So, make sure that they're guarding that tight end drag or at least the receiver post. Because if they run out to guard the slant, then you're going to need to either hit the drag or the post. The drag, post, and slant all are really good man beaters here. So this is a tough play to play man coverage on. Now, one of the things I'll say is, if you see them like getting aggressive and like just assuming the running back's going to be blocked every play, and they don't even guard the running back, whether they're in man coverage, the blitz, or just sitting back, it doesn't matter. If they're not guarding the running back, don't be afraid just here and there to leave him on that wheel route, because then, especially if they're blitzing you, that quick pass into the flat can be a huge play, But oftentimes people will play man coverage with the safeties back, right? Something like this, where, you know, they keep the safeties back, so they're not going to give up any big plays, and they kind of just roam the middle of the field themselves. If you see somebody doing this, you definitely want to send the running back on an out route out of the backfield. Looking to become a better Madden player and win more games? Check out sportsgamers.com. I built sportsgamers.com from the ground up to give you the best Madden tips, best Madden ebooks, all at the best price, bar none. We have a VIP membership that gives you access to the entire site, every ebook and every tip we release all year long for only $24.99. Click the link in the description. I've also pinned it in the comments, and use coupon code DUKE for 10% off your order. Opposite the bunch, to the bunch side. So like here, the bunch on the right, we're going to send the running back to and out to the right as well. This just keeps them from having an extra free defender, because if they play man coverage without blitzing and they know that you're blocking the running back, they can just basically take the guy that's guarding the running back, put him in a zone or user him, and not even worry about the running back. And now it's going to be harder to get, to beat the man defense. So you never want them to do that. So if you notice they're not even blitzing you, always make sure the running back's going on an out route to the bunch side, so that'd be to the right here. If they are blitzing you, you can either block him or keep him on like a wheel route. That could be a quick pass if you notice that they're not guarding him when they're blitzing. So we're still going to use that same motion, but I want you guys to see here, like if they go guard the motion slant, that's fine because we can hit the post over the middle. That post does a really, really good job of breaking over the middle of the field, as you guys can see there. Again, doesn't matter about abilities or whatever. These routes are just good man beaters. Now, the drag, like I said, that can also be man depending upon position who's guarding him. But that's a little bit more iffy. The two that always beat man no matter what are going to be the slant and the post. And based upon the spacing, as you guys can see here, there's no way to use or both of them because you have to immediately commit to that motion slant to guard it. And if you do that, then the post is just going to be wide open. So you guys can see here how whether they play man blitz or sit back and man coverage the safeties over top, this play will shred man. Now let's show how it could beat the zone blitz meta or just zone in general, which, is really just the DB fire 2, right? If someone's zone blitzing you, it's probably DB fire 2. And once we kind of break down how to beat these different zone blitzes and just zone in general, then I'm going to show you guys how to beat the match coverage that everybody plays if they're in match, just the cover 4 quarter scheme. So keep on, keeping up with me. We got a lot of important information to cover here. So this is kind of the DB fire meta, right? Just something like this. Now, again, I'm going to do the same setup. I'm going to streak my receiver over here that's by himself, drag my tight end, post my slot, slant my outside bunch receiver. Now, again, at this point, I could block the running back because when I block him from plays like this, we're pretty much good. It's better protection when he's going out on route. Or I can do the delayed route scheme just like this. You guys can see the check and release. We get a C over the slot corner's head. That means that guy will be blocked. And then you guys could see over there, the right slot corner has an M, so he would be blocked too if he's coming. So we're going to do the motion out here, guys, and it's kind of honestly the same thing. When I do the motion out, I know that if they don't use or guard that, I can just throw it in there really, really fast. Now, again, like that might make them do adjustments. Maybe they're going to man that guy up or even just put a hook zone there, something like this. Maybe if they do that, maybe they even just user this guy, right? Maybe they user this guy and man up the running back so they can't go out of the backfield, and then something of that nature. They're going to make adjustments. So that's why this play is just so good because you have just so many reads. Look, so like right here, you guys can see here. Okay, they want to do something like that to try to take the tight end. I'm sorry, not the tight end, but the motion slant away. Again, then we have the post over the middle of the field. The streak is really useful against zone because what he's going to do is he's going to clear out any deeper zones on that left sideline. So if we need to wait longer into the play, if they're just rushing 3 or 4 maybe, you would be able to wait for this post route to get all the way to the sideline open. But against the blitz, you can throw the quick dot over the middle. So like here, you could see with these adjustments, the little hook zone and then the user being on the right instead of the left side of the screen, the slant's pretty well taken away. But what happens there is now the post is wide open. Now, also, the drag is wide open, but I just know between the 2 routes, the post is going to give me more yards. So that's why we went ahead and took that there. Maybe, they do something to where, they throw a hook zone, then they man this guy up, and then they just user the post, right? What if they do something like that? Well, once again, we're fine because if they want to user the post and then try to take away the slant with the adjustments, now you guys can see here, we have the tight end. The tight end can turn upfield. He can easily get you a 10, 15, even sometimes more, bigger gain. So this is just a super, super, super good play. Now, I do want to show the guys that are just sitting back in the basic cover threes, the cover fours, not really blitzing because that is kind of a common defense here and there. So let's just look at it, like cover three sky, whatever. This play, again, will do a really, really good job of beating that. So again, same thing. You can block the running back, or you could, if you wanted to, send them out on like an out route to the bunch side. That's only when they're not blitzing you. Only when they're not blitzing you. All right? So we're going to do the streak, the out here to the running back, the drag to the tight end, the slant, and the post combo to the slot and outside bunch receiver. We still always motion the outside bunch receiver. And let's just take a look at how this works. So, like, again, you guys can see here, we just have a perfect flood over the middle of the field. There's really nothing the defense can do. In zone, they have no shot because the spacing on this route combo is just too good. You know, you always are going to have one of these routes, if not multiple of these routes, wide open. So I want to get to the replay really quick to show you how this develops against a zone coverage, where it's more so just, a pass rush instead of actual blitz, and then we'll get into match. So once again, over here, the streak, he takes any of these deep zones away to clear the sideline out. So he's not really a target unless they're blitzing you or pressing and he just beats them deep. This is really our main read right here, the drag, the slant, and the post. And as you guys can see here, these three routes create a triangle shape. I've spoke about this for years now on my website, sportsgamers.com, on my YouTube channel. This is the best form of passing, the best concept for passing to beat zone coverage. You want to use routes, three routes that will form a triangle during the play because the spacing this provides makes it impossible for any zone defense to stop it, no matter the adjustments, no matter the zone shell adjustments. There's nothing that can stop this, right? The other thing about this is the spacing it provides makes it impossible for a user to lurk you and get a user pick or a pick six, right? Because, like, let's say that this guy's the user. They normally like to use it in the middle of the field. You can't bait me here because there's no way that you can guard this post route and take away the drag or the slant, right? You have to pick who you're going to guard because there's too much space between the three routes for you to act like you're guarding multiple people at the same time. That's why this is so good, is because you cannot bait me to make a mistake, and also none of your coverages will work either. So like you guys can see, the flats are open here, the slant's open as it crosses the hook zone's face, and then the post is open later in the play once it gets like kind of like to the sideline. So this play is just amazing. It beats man, the blitz, zone. Now let's look at how it beats match. So match is essentially like very similar to man. If you have a play that beats man, most of the time it's going to beat match. I like to compare match to like a matchup zone in basketball, or if we're going to go more football terms, like literally kind of like just thinking of man coverage, but like a second or two delayed into the play, because they don't just flat out from the very beginning of the play man. They basically delay a second or two depending upon your route combo, and based upon your route combo, that's when they're going to basically go from zone and they're going to match into man, right? So here, this is cover 4 quarters, and most people that run this will use the hook zone over the middle, and that's kind of going to be very common. So here, again, I can do the same route combo. Block the running back, send him on the out route to the bunch side. Again, it kind of just depends upon if you think they could be blitzing, you need some extra protection, whatever. But always everything else is the same. You streak the outside receiver by himself, drag the tight end, put the slot on a post, and do a motion slant to the outside bunch receiver. Again, always making sure the bunch side of the formation is on the wide side of the field. So when we do the motion slant here, again, let's just look at this. This is just flat out match coverage. You guys can see here, there's about, again, 3 different people open at different points of the play. So against match, you'll notice that basically the post got matched by the safety, and then they tried to match the slant with the quarter flat on the right of the screen. Now, the slant was open kind of right off bat for a quick pass, but, late in the play, it was covered. The post was open pretty much the entire play because it has leverage. Like, they're never going to be able to match that post. It's just going to get open too good. And then, this is why match coverage is bad at times. It just got confused here and left the drag wide open. This other quarter flat had no idea who to guard. So, like, as the user, you don't really know who to guard here because all 3 of these guys are threats at different points of the play. Like, right here, you probably think when you see the motion slant, maybe I need to run out there. But then later in the play, you're probably like, well, actually, I need to help on the post. and then finally later in the play, you're like, oh crap, no one guards the drag. So like what a lot of people will do in match, in situations like this, so like the flats just don't get left wide open, is they'll just shade their coverage underneath so they actually have hard flats. So like, these are like route combos that attack the flats like with drags and like out routes out the backfield. Don't get open. Because like those are the types of route combos that give match coverage a lot of problems a lot of times, is just beating them into the flats. Because like honestly, like quarter flats, they're supposed to take the first guy into the flat, but they often don't do the best job. They get confused sometimes, depending on route combo, and oftentimes they just literally get beat speed-wise, leverage-wise, out-leverage into the flat. So sometimes, people see you doing things like this. They're not worried about giving up one-play touchdowns on like wheel routes out the backfield. They'll just put hard flats out there because they'll think, okay, they'll do a better job now of stopping like him sending his running back out the backfield on an out route or sending his tight end on a drag. Like this is just going to cover it better. And like it will, but like then you're just giving up other things. Like right here, I can just throw it to the middle of the field way easier because now that quarter flat is not, considering matching on my slant. So like, yeah, like at that point, the flats are guarded better. As you guys can see, like they are guarded better. But now the middle of the field is easier to attack. So like here, you see this would be the user. He helped out on the post because, again, the post will always get open if they don't help. So now I can just wait to throw the slant over the middle. Easy, right? Now, this play, like again, is literally just a hot route setup you could do from any bunch play. I like wide curl for two reasons. A, again, as I said earlier in the video, it gives you better protection because plays where the running back goes out on a route give you way better blocking than plays where he's already blocking by default or on a delayed route. And two, if you want a wheel route, that's one of the best wheel routes in the game to use against the blitz. So I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that like button. Until next time, it's your boy Duke, and I'm out of here.